Hello and welcome to Dude Hack. My name is Steve and today we are going to be going through 2021's eHarmony review. Now, as I said, my name is Steve. I am the owner of dudehack.com. Dude Hack is a website about all things online dating, whether that's tips, advice, general information, or pretty much just anything you need to know about dating apps and online dating in the 21st century. Guys, head on over to dudehack.com. Now, just because of some slight camera issues, today's video might appear to be a little bit chopping and changing. It was filmed over a couple of different days in different locations, so just bear with me. But today is all about eHarmony, so we are going to go in a deep dive review onto everything you would possibly need to know before going ahead and deciding whether or not eHarmony is right for you. Now look, if even after this video you're not entirely sure if eHarmony is right for you or what dating app or site would suit you best, I highly suggest you take Dude Hack's free quiz, which is down below in the description, which will allow you to find out which dating app or site suits your personality and what you're looking for better than anyone else. On top of that, just a little side note, if at any point throughout this video you decide, you know what, this is sounding pretty good, I want to go ahead and I want to try eHarmony. You'll see in the description below, I've added in a sign up link to a free trial that will allow you to take the quiz, see your personality breakdown, and just have a bit of a look around without spending any money. We're going to be going through a total of 12 different aspects of eHarmony and reviewing them each individually. Those 12 points are its success rate, its user overview, its sign up process, how you go about making your eHarmony profile, how other eHarmony profiles look, general communication and sending messages, the eHarmony app, free features, paid features, the cost, the customer care and just ease of use, and overall, arguably the most important one, its value, whether it's worth it or not. And of course, at the end, I will give you my total overall score when it comes to eHarmony. Look, you might have heard about eHarmony for the last 20 odd years or so. I know I used to always see the ads popping up, and believe it or not, eHarmony is still an absolute heavyweight in the online dating game. Now, without jumping ahead too much, basically what eHarmony is all about is matching like-minded and compatible people based off their personality type. Their well thought out algorithm, which is basically the bunch of code which matches people together, is highly effective. And arguably it is what has made eHarmony one of, if not the most successful dating site in the world for the last 20 years. The founder of eHarmony was Dr. Neil Warren, who spent 35 years working as a clinical psychologist as well as a couples therapist. Now, in that time, he realized that the number one trait for a very successful and long-term relationship or marriage is compatibility with your personality. So compatibility is everything. One day, Dr. Neil, he decided to take his knowledge and run with it and created eHarmony, and we haven't looked back in the last 20 years. And since its launch in 2000, Dr. Neil and eHarmony have been responsible for over a whopping 2 million people finding love. Now look, that sort of ties into my first point I want to review, and that is the success rate and the real world reviews. Think about every single marriage that exists in the US today. eHarmony is responsible for 4% of them. eHarmony has a catalog of data over the last 20 years which shows just how successful it is. Now, another stat that I'm sure a lot of you would be quite interested in when it does come to eHarmony is just how many people find love within their first year. Guys, when you really compare that to the amount of time people spend swiping on different apps, finding love, finding the person that you're going to be spending the rest of your life with within 1 year is actually crazy. Now, right now, the divorce rate in US is sitting at around about 50%. The divorce rate for eHarmony is 3%. Now look, there is so much data out there for you to dig through to find out just how successful eHarmony is, but what it really comes down to is real world, real life scenarios. Now, what I've found when I'm looking through real life reviews all over the web is majority of comments are positive. Now, of course, just with any business or company, there is some negative feedback that's expected. But at the end of the day, look, a dating app, it's not going to work for absolutely everybody. But the stats that we've gone through there, 70% finding love within their first year, that's crazy. So it's for those very clear reasons that the data points to, that the success rate of eHarmony, I am voting a 10 out of 10. Now, getting into the user overview of eHarmony. Majority of users on eHarmony aren't looking for a hookup and are looking for something a little bit more serious with a little bit of extra focus on marriage. Now, does that mean that every single person that you meet on the app is going to be ready to settle down and commit straight away? No. So guys, don't worry. It's not a case of you have to be absolutely willing to settle down straight away to jump on eHarmony. But it does seem that majority of the users on there are looking for something just a little bit more serious. Now, keep in mind, eHarmony is available worldwide in many different countries with over 30 million current users. The ages on eHarmony is also extremely balanced. Majority, over 50% of eHarmony's users are over 35. So you do really have a full mix when it comes to all ages. The genders are also a pretty even mix, with 51% being men and 49% being female. The users of eHarmony are obviously of the top quality, and that's why the compatibility and matching is so effective. And that is why the user overview of eHarmony also receives a 10 out of 10 rating from DudeHack. Next, we are talking about the sign up process. You might have heard by now that the compatibility quiz that you need to take in order to set up your eHarmony profile eats up quite a bit of time. It does report that you would need about 20 minutes. Remember that the majority of your matches and your compatibility scores are going to come from your answers on the quiz. So make sure you really do take your time and answer all those questions accurately. Now, eHarmony doesn't mess around. Right off the bat, when I was working through the eHarmony compatibility quiz, I was asked, what are the 3 main reasons that you want to get into a relationship? Now, that sounds pretty bold as a question right off the bat, but the answers are even better. For example, you can answer, so I'm not alone, or emotional security. Guys, eHarmony, it gets straight to the bare bones of it to find your actual compatibility. Now, this is something that I personally love. It gets rid of all the bullcrap, it moves that to the side, and it gets down to the core of who you are as a person and finds you somebody based on that. In a world of Tinder and Bumble where you are just putting the best version of yourself out there for the world to see, revealing your warts and all in eHarmony and finding somebody based on that is a much better way, in my opinion at least, to find something serious. And guys, at this point, if you just want to see what this quiz is for yourself, remember you can go and take the quiz for free when you click on my free trial link below. Now, once you start off with some of those nitty-gritty type questions to get things off the bat, you then start getting into more personal questions about yourself. From there, you'll be taken through a series of questions which relate to you and what you're looking for in a potential partner. Now, the questions do range from, say, multiple choice, where you do maybe have to write a short answer or select up to 5 options that relate to you. So you do have to stay on your toes a little bit. It's not something that you can just press C on every single answer and then move on. Take your time with it, set aside a good hour or so, get a cup of tea and get cracking. Now, as I said, the quiz takes a lot of time and energy. So right now, a lot of people might be hearing this and thinking, ugh, I don't really want to do that. But as I alluded to before, the quiz is one of the main reasons that makes eHarmony so effective. So I strongly urge you to give it a go. It is free after all, and probably the best part of it, and I found this extremely interesting, was the actual personality breakdown it gives you as soon as you finish. There were some aspects of my personality that quiz definitely brought to light, which was very interesting. So I highly suggest you go and check your results as well. On that note as well, when you do finish your quiz and you do get your personality results, your match will be able to see that, and you will be able to see the results of your match's personality quiz as well. Now, when it comes to my score for the sign-up process, yes, on one side, it does deter the tire kickers that aren't there to take things seriously. That's a big plus. But I do need to acknowledge the fact that it does take a lot of time and energy. So for those reasons, I'm going ahead and I am voting the sign-up process as a 7 out of 10. Next, we're going to be talking about what you need to do to complete your own profile. There is a few different points for us to work through individually. Keep in mind, you will see on your eHarmony profile screen the percentage of how much of your profile you have left to complete. This is a really helpful step for myself included when it came to joining eHarmony for the first time. Guys, this is pretty straightforward advice, and I'm sure at this point a lot of you would know this, but the last thing you want to do is leave your profile blank. So make sure you get it filled out. The first step, and nothing new compared to other dating sites and apps, is uploading a profile photo. Now, eHarmony allows you to upload 12 photos. You can obviously go for less if you do want. And something that I personally really liked when I was going ahead and uploading my photos was seeing that eHarmony does give you guided prompts on typical photos that would get a good reaction. Next, you're going to write something called your personal quote. This is just a nice little short blurb about yourself that you can add a little bit of personality to your profile. For example, have you got a favorite TV show, a favorite movie, a favorite book, maybe a favorite sports team? Or you might opt for just what you're looking for, what your goals are for finding another person. Next is just filling out all of these sections of my profile, essentially giving some statistics and some information about who you are and what you're looking for. This is questions like, do you have kids or are you religious? But also general information like your height, location, and ethnicity. Next, you're going to fill out your Who Am I section. First, the I'm thankful tab allows you to write up to 5 answers and essentially just tells the world what your priorities are and what's important to you. Next, you can select your best life skills. This is a selection where you can choose up to 5. Next, things I can't live without is exactly what it sounds like, allowing you to write up to 5 answers once again. And finally, my friends describe me as, and you can choose from 32 different personality traits. Next, you have your About Me section. You can choose which parts of these questions that you do answer, with the ones that you don't answer being left off your profile, so it doesn't look like you have any blank answers. Now, the questions, they do range from being reflective, i.e. something I want to do more of is, or they can be speculative, my ideal first date would be, or they can be personal. For example, my best travel story is. This section allows you to just share a little bit more about your life. Rather than feeling like you've been somewhat interrogated with the style of questioning prior to this, this allows you to share any other little personal quips about yourself that you want to get out there. Last but not least on your profile is something called leisure and sport. I think the name makes it pretty clear what this is all about. Now, one section of this is a little bit more open, asking you what your favorite TV show is, favorite book, favorite movie. Now, there are another couple of sections that are a little bit less open-ended, giving you a few options to choose from. That might be things like how I like to spend my spare time, I like, or my music taste is. Now, when it comes to that question of I like, that includes pretty much any single hobby under the sun. I'd be surprised if your hobby isn't included there. Now, once you have filled out every single one of these sections, congratulations, you have just achieved 100% profile completion score, and you are ready to get matching. Now, building your eHarmony profile, again, might sound a little bit extensive and a lot of effort goes into it, but again, giving you quite a few different sections to fill out rather than just a blurb or, one or two lines really gives you and your match a lot more to work on. Just the fact that you can fill out so many different sections, with some being multiple choice and some being your own answers, is a great way to help break the ice, give your match a lot more information about yourself, and really, hopefully, find somebody that shares some like-minded views. When you compare it to, say, dating sites like Tinder or Bumble, which really just give you the one bio and that's it, there really is no comparison. And that is why my score for building your profile on eHarmony is a 9 out of 10. Next, let's talk about what you will actually see on other people's profiles. Now, the first thing that you see other than their name and their profile picture is going to be your compatibility score. As I said, this ranges from 60 all the way up to 140. You'll clearly be able to see any other photos that they have added displayed nice and neatly next to their profile picture. Below that is going to be a series of the questions that we filled out previously in your About Me section. Next, it's going to be followed by the answers that they filled out within the Who Am I section. On the right of that, you will see their fact file, which gives you all the possible surface level information that you might need to know, such as ethnicity, location, and height. Something that you'll be able to do within eHarmony is to like a particular part of your match's profile. For example, if there is an answer to one of their questions that you particularly find funny or really resonates with you, I highly suggest you give it a like. Your match will be given a notification and they'll know that you've liked it. But in my opinion, by far the most insightful and exciting and interesting aspect of other people's profiles is looking at the breakdown of your compatibility score. Once you click on the colorful heart and the number that displays your compatibility score, you'll be taken to a screen that shows you a much more colorful graph and displays your compatibility score breakdown. Now, obviously having a full breakdown of your compatibility with someone is really useful information, and this graph is awesome. But even just the design of it is really damn cool. When you're on the screen, you'll be able to see your compatibility score displayed in the center of this graph. This number is based off 4 different categories of compatibility. These 4 different components are: how do we communicate, how do we organize everyday life, what characterizes us, and what is our driving force. You'll have those sections broken down even further, comparing your 2 scores and things like instincts and feelings. Obviously, the closer your bars are together, the more compatible you are. For the reason that eHarmony gives you this really intricate breakdown of your personality and how you mesh with other personalities, but also just the overall profile design and the user interface, very, very nice and clean, very easy to use. And it's for those reasons that I give other profiles on eHarmony a score of 10 out of 10. Now let's get onto the messaging, how you actually can communicate with other eHarmony profiles. Now, something a lot of you have probably faced before, I know I have once upon a time, is getting on a dating app, finally getting a match, and then going to write something and just thinking, what do I say? Look, that's very, very normal, and one of the awesome features from eHarmony is something called icebreakers. Now, the way that the icebreaker game works is you and your partner will be shown 5 different images each. You will select which ones you like the best, and then you will compare your results. Now, this might sound like a silly little game, but it is a great way to get a conversation up off the ground, especially when you're not entirely sure what to say. On top of that, you can send a smile. A smile is like a heart or a wink on other dating apps and sites you might have seen. It's essentially just a little sort of expression of interest, let's call it. A lot of the time you'll mostly just use this if you are a free user. It's a little bit of a, hey, I'm over here type thing without actually sending a message. If you are a free user, if you've click to the link down below and you've decided to start a free trial, you will be able to send these smiles to other users as well. Now, for premium members, you will be able to have full unrestricted messaging. Now, in order to really get the most out of eHarmony, if you are planning to put a lot of time and energy into it and you're committed to finding someone, guys, the simple truth of it is at one point you will need to upgrade. I mean, you can't really build a strong connection just out of sending smiles. Now look, apart from all those different ways to make contact with somebody on eHarmony, a recent introduction, especially in times when a lot of people were stuck at home, was the introduction of video chat. Now, I don't really need to go too in depth with that. Essentially, it's just like FaceTime, but on the eHarmony app. Now, communication on eHarmony is nice, simple, and even fun. They've thrown in a little game. There's video chatting to make sure that if you're a little bit uneasy about who you're talking to, worried they might not be who they say they are, they've sort of cleared all that out of the air. The 4 different ways that you can get in touch are fun and different compared to a lot of different apps that provide just the straightforward messaging. So look, because of those 4 different methods and the fact that you unfortunately can't message without paying, I am scoring the eHarmony communication a 6 out of 10. Next, I want to talk about the eHarmony app. Now, eHarmony was traditionally just a website, and they only introduced the app in the last few years. So, at the end of the day, you do get the best of both worlds. You can use either or, but the app is really just there for handiness, so that you can pick up eHarmony out of your pocket at a moment's notice and check your messages. Now, the user interface of the app is extremely simple and clean and well designed. It breaks down into 5 different tabs. Those things are matches, chats, visitors, profile, and settings. So the fact that it's a nice, convenient, and easy to use app, I'm scoring it an 8 out of 10. Okay, next we are talking about the free features available in eHarmony. Like I mentioned before, in order to really get the most out of the dating app, you will have to spend some money. That's if you are committed to meeting a long-term partner. What I suggest for each and every one of you is start off on the free trial, get an idea of what it's about before deciding to upgrade. But for now, let's go through some of the free features and what you can actually access before you spend some money. Now, admittedly, you are quite restricted without the eHarmony premium membership. First and foremost, the one sort of glaringly obvious one is you won't be able to see photos. They will be blurred. You'll be able to maybe get a bit of an idea of what they look like, but essentially it is blurred. However, eHarmony does let you set up your profile in full, and that includes the compatibility quiz, and from there start matching with people. But the real stumbling block is when you will be sent a message and unfortunately you can't reply. Now, you can send smiles, so by all means, if you wanted to jump on there, have a look at some blurry profiles, have a read at what they say. If something from it really sticks out to you, you can by all means send a smile. Now remember, eHarmony doesn't want flaky people. They want people that are committed, people that are going to take it seriously, and that is why there is a paywall standing in the way. But as I mentioned, by all means, go ahead and give it a go for free. Try it, see what the platform's like, see if you're getting some matches already, and then from there you can decide. So what you'll be able to do on the free version of eHarmony is as follows: registration and profile creation, completing the quiz, seeing the breakdown of your quiz result, sending smiles to other users, viewing other members' profiles and their written answers, and adding profiles to your favorites. Now, when it comes to the free features for eHarmony, admittedly, we are quite limited. So I've gone ahead and I've voted this a 6 out of 10. Okay, now let's get into the good stuff, which is the paid features. Those premium features are as follows: viewing unlimited photos completely unrestricted, unlimited messaging, distance search, see who viewed you, a more detailed breakdown of your personality profile, and being able to browse anonymously. And really, I think the easiest way to just look at it, guys, is paying allows you to just be unrestricted and message everyone, whereas not paying allows you to have a free trial. Okay, now this next part is where a lot of the focus always tends to lie on, and that is the cost. Now, when we really compare eHarmony to a lot of the other dating apps out there, it does appear to be quite expensive. It definitely isn't cheap. But again, that is one of the biggest reasons why it is so successful. But look, don't stress too much. There is a bunch of different options and ways that you can go ahead and become a premium member. So look, let's break it all down. Now, before we do really get into the cost, something I find more often than not is when you decide to get started on an eHarmony free trial, i.e. clicking the link down in the description, going through your personality quiz and getting your profile set up, majority of the time you will be offered a 50% discount. Now, obviously this completely depends on a number of factors, maybe even your area and things like that, so don't hold me to it. But I have seen majority of people who end up signing up through that link be offered a 50% discount. So just keep that in mind when we are working through these prices, that not only is there a very good chance that you will be offered that 50% discount when you do sign up, but on top of that, eHarmony do sporadically offer discounts as well as free communication weekends. A free communication weekend is exactly what it sounds like. It allows any free users to get started on eHarmony and message as if they were a premium user. What I highly suggest is that you do get started as a free user just to get a bit of an idea of the app, but most importantly, build out your profile and finish the quiz. And when there is actually a free eHarmony weekend coming up, you'll be emailed so you can be prepared, but then you're not wasting half the weekend actually building your profile and finishing the quiz. You're ready to go. So I highly suggest you even just get started for free and just keep your eyes peeled until the next free communication weekend. But even if you weren't wanting to take advantage of the free communication weekend, or you didn't want to go ahead and take a discount for whatever reason, let's break down the latest eHarmony costs that I've found. Now, eHarmony's memberships are broken down into 3 different tiers. There's Premium Lite, Premium Plus, and Premium Extra. Now, don't get fooled. There's nothing really all that different between the 3 other than the length of time that you are a member, and obviously then the amount that you're paying. Now, something that is relatively new when it comes to the eHarmony costs is the fact that you are able to spread your payments. So you can essentially choose to make 1 payment, 2 payments, 3 payments, or 4. Very, very simple. Keep in mind that these prices are always changing based on many factors. So as of right now, at the start of 2021, this is where the prices sit, but there is a chance that by the time you watch this video that they are changed. So head on over to dudehack.com where I have the article format of the eHarmony review, and that will basically give you any updated and current pricing. Alternatively, guys, go ahead, press the link, finish the quiz, and you'll be able to see what the current pricing is in your area at the moment. But right now, a Premium Lite membership, which is a 6-month membership, is going to come in at $395.40. Now that's an equivalent of $65.90. But remember, we're not paying monthly. We can either do that $395.40 in 1 payment, 2 payments, 3 payments, or 4 payments. I'll pop up on the screen now what those payments will look like so you don't have to do the math yourself. For a Premium Plus membership, which is a 12-month membership, you're going to be looking at $550.80, which ends up being an equivalent of $45.90 per month. The longest possible membership is your Premium Extra, and that is a whopping 24-month membership. It's also your best valued, coming in at $35.90 per month. And as you can see, just like many other dating apps and sites, the more months you opt for, the cheaper it gets. If finding a partner in a long-term relationship is of the utmost important to you, you take it more seriously than anything, maybe the 24-month is a better option for you when you really do break down that monthly cost. But look, a whole extra year, we're talking about knocking off roughly about $10 per month. Remember the statistic before, that around about 70% of people will meet their spouse within their first year using eHarmony. So maybe you should back yourself. Whether or not that saving is enough to justify taking it on board, I think that happy medium of finding that's 12 months, committing to it, getting it paid, and knowing that you've got that time to meet your future partner, that should be hopefully more than enough. But on the flip side of that as well, giving yourself that 6-month window allows you to really put in the effort. Rather than thinking, well, you know what, I've got 24 months to make this happen. It puts a little bit more of a pep in your step, a little bit more urgency. But like I said, there are constantly free communication weekends, but more importantly, pretty heavy discounts, even going above 50%. So don't get too caught up in the numbers. There are different options to make it a little bit cheaper for you. Like I said before, your best bet is to go and check what the prices are right now by clicking that link. Now, when it comes down to the price on one side, yes, it does look like it's fairly expensive. But as I've mentioned a few times in this video, the fact that you are clearing out all the tire kickers, all the flakiness, guys, that is the reason I've voted the cost of eHarmony as a 7 out of 10. But what the cost really ties into, and the most important question, is whether or not it's worth it. Now, the majority of the eHarmony users that I come across do say that eHarmony is by all means worth it. Now, I'm not completely naive. Not everybody has an extremely successful story to tell about eHarmony. But even just going to some of the statistics that we've gone over in this video, 70% of people are finding their loved ones within 1 year. So of course there is going to be 30% of people that might not be too happy, that might not say eHarmony is all that worth it. But my question to you is, if you met the love of your life, the person that you were going to settle down with, hopefully your best friend that, you know, brings you great joy and pleasure being around, if you met that person on this platform, would any of those prices be worth it to you? I personally don't think there is any question about the value. The fact that eHarmony goes above and beyond and gives you so many different features and things like icebreakers to actually make it work. It's not there to just throw you in the mix and see what happens. Its goal is to match you with a compatible partner. The fact that it does that, and it does it well, in my opinion, makes eHarmony more than worth it. I don't think there would be one person on that list of people that have found love within the last 20 years on eHarmony that would have regretted for 1 second the money that they've spent. But look, the answer to this question is really going to come from you. Because to me, it's more than worth it. Can you really put a price on meeting the love of your life? If that's something you're not completely committed to, you want to just sort of, you know, play the game a little bit, see what's out there, yeah, look, eHarmony probably isn't for you. But if you're committed, you want to find a partner, you want something long term, I wouldn't waste my time or money anywhere else. So look, it is expensive, there's no denying that. But for what it gets you, guys, I have gone ahead and I have rated the value for eHarmony as a 8 out of 10. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to eHarmony is just the customer care and the overall user friendliness. With the addition of the app, the eHarmony website is extremely easy to use. In the last few years, eHarmony has gone through somewhat of a makeover, and the colors, the designs, and everything looks nice and clean and simple to use. If you're somebody who's a little bit technologically inept like myself, you will still find it extremely easy to navigate and access all of the features. On top of that, the customer service is great. And a lot of these reviews, I will always reach out to the customer service with a silly little question just to see how quickly they get back to me and they were really sharp with their responses. You can fill out the contact form on the website for customer care, or you can simply call the customer care phone line, which is available from Monday through to Friday. Now that basically sums up my review of each individual section of eHarmony. But what do I think of it overall? Look, if it's not that obvious by now, eHarmony is one of my absolute favorite dating sites out there today. And that comes down to many factors, but the one that really stands out to me is just its effort and care. What I mean by that is eHarmony goes to that next level, not to just put some pretty people up on an app and hope that they like each other. Everything is very strategic and well thought out with 20 years worth of data, and that is why it is by far the most successful dating site that's ever existed. Now that's not hyperbole, that's not exaggeration, quite literally. All of the statistics point to eHarmony being the best out there. My perception of eHarmony has changed dramatically in the last few years. I wasn't exactly sure what to think about it, to be completely honest with you. I always saw the ads way back in the day when I was really young. Online dating was a whole different ballpark. It was a whole different game. So my perception of eHarmony was a lot different to what it is today. But things are changing. If you haven't heard the memo, online dating is kind of taking over the world, and it is a lot more prevalent, a lot more accepted for everybody to get on there. So you can rest assured that eHarmony is going to be filled with like-minded people that might feel a little bit weird even being on online dating as well as you. If anything I've spoken about eHarmony in this video sounds like it could relate to you or you could enjoy that, guys, just give it a try. What do you have to lose? Go access the free trial down at that link below and see what all the fuss is about. But the moment of truth. What is my overall final score for eHarmony today in 2021? Well, the score for my eHarmony review out of 10 overall is a whopping 9 out of 10. If you're still not entirely sure if eHarmony is the right one for you or there's a better dating app, guys, go ahead and take the free quiz down below. This quiz will tell you exactly what dating app or site will suit your personality and your goals better than anything. If this video has helped you out whatsoever, it has answered some of the information that you were seeking, I would highly appreciate if you did press the thumbs up button down below. It does make a huge difference. Also, if it is your first time here, please consider subscribing. But until tomorrow's video, be well, stay safe, and I'll see you later.